What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Okay, no, wait a minute. We've had her on the channel before, but not as a solo act, so I guess, yeah, let's roll with it. All right, making her solo debut on the channel tonight, we have Fami. Yes, indeed. How about that? Fami making her solo debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bop, do me a favor before you do all that stuff. Please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Glenn, and Glenn wanted me to react to this. It is Fami with a bass cover of the Nayutan Alien song, Alien. Now, have I heard this song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard this song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, ha, wait, you have got to be kidding me. This is that song? I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Okay, so yes, I know who Fami is. She's the young lady who took over as the bassist for Love Bites. I get that. I know who she is. I knew before she joined Love Bites, she had a pretty big presence as a solo artist on YouTube. She got a lot of notoriety and fame on YouTube, being a bass player and building up a name for herself in that way. So this is going to be coming from her channel. Yes, it is posted by Fami. There it is. So this is going to be interesting, and we're going to see some of her early work prior to Love Bites. So, but just to be clear, I know who it is. Okay, I'm not going to sit there and pretend to be shocked, like, oh my God, look who it is. No, it's right there. I can't help it. Anyway, let's see. This was posted by Fami. No surprise there. It's her channel. It's her stuff. And this video has 10.3 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. I have absolutely no idea what any of that says. Alien bass cover. That's where we're at. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Nice harmonic, letting it ring. Yeah, take that. Dear Lord. Nope. Nope. Not even going to try. Not even going to attempt. Nope. Just going to take my bases and throw them in the trash and light them on fire right now. Nope. Not even. Do not even ask me to try. Nope. Not going to do it. Oh, dear Lord. Wow. That was fun. That was fun to hear. Absolutely. And I know people are going, wait a minute, fun to hear. What about fun to watch? Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We are definitely going to talk about that. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review. And yeah, and we're going to talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Fami with a bass cover of the Nayutan Alien song. Alien, Alien. Hope I got that all right. That's how it was explained to me by Glenn. And this was a request by Glenn, by the way. And this is how it explained to me, is that it was a bass cover of the Nayutan Alien song, Alien, Alien. So that's how I have it in my notes. Okay. I have a score. And I'm giving this score after some very serious thought and taking everything, and I mean everything, into consideration. So I'm going to give the score. People are going to lose their minds. And then I'm going to give my reasonings for it. And hopefully the level-headed people will go, oh, I see where you're coming from. I get it now. I understand. I mean, look, there's always going to be those, for lack of a better word, I hate to say this word, but there's always going to be those simps who are going to believe that, everything that she does deserves a 10. And, they worship the ground that she walks on, and they hope they would sacrifice their own lives if she would just look in their direction. And, listen, guys, I'm not trying to tell you how to live your lives. Obviously, you can live your lives however you want. I'm just saying there's a better way. There's a more constructive way to lead your lives than following that kind of a format. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. I guess we'll have to wait and see in the comments how it goes. Oh, man, I can feel the hate already. I can. I can feel the hate just trickling down my spine. Anyway, which is funny because the score I'm about to give really doesn't deserve any hate. But I promise you, in the comments, we're going to get some hate. And just to prove my point, I'm not going to delete them. I'm going to leave them up. I'm going to leave up the comments, the hurtful, hateful comments. I'm going to leave them all up. I just may not read them. I may just let it go and just say, you know what? I'm going to avoid the comments in this video. You know what? I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to read them. I'm not going to heart them. I'm not going to read them. Feel free to say whatever you're going to say. I'm just not going to read them. Anyway, here we go. And like I said, the hate's going to be completely unwarranted after the score I give. And I guarantee you, people are going to be scratching their head going, really? You're gonna give that score and people are gonna be hating on that? Watch the comments. I'm not even joking. Anyway, let's get to that score, shall we? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna give that a 9.3. Yep, 9.3. You heard me. I didn't stutter. That is the score I feel this cover deserves. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, a 9.3. What does that mean? Listen very carefully, everybody. A 9.3 would equate out to an outstanding, amazing, impressive scale rating. Because honestly, this was an outstanding, amazing, impressive cover. It would also get 5 out of 5 stars and an A letter grade. Yeah, an A letter grade. And yet people will still complain about it. So there you go, a 9.3, outstanding, amazing, impressive scale rating, 5 out of 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? So glad you asked. Here comes my explanation, and hopefully this will quell most of the hate. Hopefully, if I can get at least 80% of the hate down with my explanation, I'll be a happy camper. I know there's always going to be hate. There will always be hateful comments. I know there always will be, especially when it comes to artists like this, where there's inevitably going to be simps. I'm not saying everybody, but let's be honest, there is that 2% who are just simping hard, okay? Let's be honest here. Anyway, there is absolutely no denying the talent that Fami has. We've seen the talent, okay? We absolutely have. The first time I honestly saw the talent from Fami was when I got first introduced to her with her introduction as being a member of Love Bites, okay? I could see the talent. I could. As a matter of fact, I think I even made the comment with the first reaction I did to Love Bites with Fami. I think I even said something to the extent of, I'll bet she can do even more. I'll bet she can do even more. I'll bet you anything she's holding back for the sake of being in this band. And even then, it still kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. I'm glad to see, especially firsthand, I was able to see and hear what she is capable of within the context of the band in a way that fits. The first reaction, she kind of stuck out a little bit, if I'm being honest. It wasn't 100% conducive. There was, listen, and I explained this too in that direction. There's always going to be a feeling out process when you bring in someone new into the band. It's happened with every new band member to join a band with any type of accumulated fame or notoriety, or at least a name and brand recognition. There's always going to be a feeling out process. There's always going to be an adjustment period where the new member has to kind of adjust to the band, and the band kind of has to adjust to the new player too. And eventually we got there. We did. And I've seen and heard some of the stuff that they've done now that feeling out process is over, and it sounds glorious. It absolutely does. But the first time I heard Fami was with Love Bites during, right at the very beginning of its infancy of that filling out process. And I even said, if I'm not mistaken, I did say something to the effect of, I'll bet you she's capable of a lot more. Well, we got a taste here, didn't we? Yes, we did. We got to see, and even then, I still suspect she's capable of more. I think she is. I think she still was kind of holding back a little bit on this. Her slapping and her popping on display here, without question, sounded amazing. It really did. Super clean. The popping and slapping were super clean. I didn't hear any bleed over. I didn't hear any dirt. I didn't hear any slop. It was dead on accurate. The tapping. Okay, let's be honest here. Let's be 100% honest here. Was the tapping 100% clean all the time? No, it wasn't. It was, if we're being honest, the tapping at times got pretty sloppy. Okay, it absolutely did. And there's absolutely no denying that. Okay, there absolutely is not. Go back and listen. Listen objectively, okay? And tell me that tapping isn't dirty. Try and tell me that, okay? Please, because I can guarantee you it was pretty sloppy at times, okay? I'm not saying the entire thing. I'm not saying all of the time she was tapping was sloppy. I'm just saying there were points, several points in her tapping where it got pretty noticeably sloppy. It got noisy, and listen, for the effect of the drive and the attitude of the cover, the fun that was being emulated, I honestly don't have a problem with it. I'm just looking at this. I'm not saying I hated it. I enjoyed it. I'm just looking at it objectively and saying it could have been cleaner, okay? That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Will it affect the score? Yes, it will bring it down a little bit because it was a little sloppy at points, but I think in a way it added to the character and fun of the cover. So speaking of which, oh, thank God for the bass cover. Good Lord. I don't think I want to hear this song in its original format. I really don't. I could hear some of it behind the bass, and I was not enjoying what I was hearing. Really wasn't. That vocal line was annoying as hell. But the bass more than made up for it. It was a lot of fun to listen to. Now, you'll notice I kept saying the word listen to, not watching. There's a reason for that. And I'm going to say these words, and I'm going to say the next couple sentences, and it's going to trigger a lot of people. It is. I'm going to upset a lot of people with what I say, which is fine, except before I say it, I'm going to pre-frame everybody by saying I have a undoubtable, irrefutable, concrete piece of evidence to support what I'm about to say, okay? So before you get triggered, and before you decide to jump on me with nothing but hatred and visceral going, you don't know what you're talking about, and you're just hating on Fami, and blah, 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 blah. Understand, I have a concrete, irrefutable piece of evidence to support my argument here, okay? So before you jump on me, you might want to hear me out. What we saw and what we heard were not the same thing.
What did he say?
What we heard was pre-recorded studio recording that was laid underneath a music video. In other words, it was a lip sync job.
Your thoughts?
What? And I know right now, people are fuming. People are ready to put their fists through the monitor, trying to punch me in the face right now. I know it's happening. I know it is. Okay, but listen, it's a music video. This is what most, like 90% of music videos that you see on YouTube, this is how it's done. They record the audio separately. They audio engineer it, they mix it, they edit it, they fix it up, make it sound as good as they possibly can. And they lay that audio underneath a shot, lip-synced music video, okay?
You can't say that! He can't say that!
Pascal, down, heel.
It is what it is, folks. It's fact. And now, here we go. People that decide to jump on me too early, I'm going to make you look absolutely foolish right now. My concrete, irrefutable piece of evidence is this.
Son, you're on your own.
I went and I checked on Fami's official YouTube channel. I followed the link that I was given right to her channel. And in the description for this video, in Fami's own words, and I quote, video and audio were shot separately.
Wow, man, freaked out.
You like that, girl? That's hardcore.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the defense rests. It's right there in her own words. Video and audio were shot separately. So before you decide to hate on me, before you decide to come down on me, before you decide to attack me and insult me and everything else, take that piece of irrefutable concrete evidence into account.
Whether you like it or not, learn to love it. It's the best thing going today.
And I hate to burst your bubble, folks, but 90% of the music videos you're gonna see on YouTube are done the exact same way. I hate to burst your bubble. I hate to break your little fantasy world, but that is reality, okay? Sorry if it offends anybody, but that is the honest to God truth. So I didn't take the video into account here. I couldn't because it's a music video. Now, I will say, watching the music video, I am sure that she demonstrated a lot of what she actually did during the course of recording the song. I'm sure she did. Which parts were accurate, which parts weren't, I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know. The slapping, did I really just say that? The slapping, it's been a long day, folks. The slapping and popping parts, they looked clean, they looked accurate from what I could tell. The tapping, not so much. It didn't look as clean and accurate. There were times where she was just literally batting on her strings, while actual precise notes were being played. So I don't know how accurate it was all the time, but I will say based on what I heard, it was impressive. It absolutely was. Now, if this had been a live performance video and what we heard was what we saw, lined up exactly, would it have affected the score? I'm going to say yes, but I don't think it would have affected it by much. Maybe 0.1 or 0.2 higher, possibly. I'm more inclined to say 0.1. But listen, she's got to be able to play it to record it, right? In order to get an audio studio recording, she has got to be able to play those parts. She has got to be able to play those notes. She has got to be able to play those rhythms and use those techniques as cleanly as she did, again, like I said, for the most part. I'm going to give her all the credit in the world for that, absolutely. And then I got to tell you, I was impressed. I absolutely was impressed by what I heard, not what I saw, okay? So, taking everything into account here, a 9.3, that is exactly where that needs to be. I feel good about that score, and that's where we're going to stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? Before I close, though, for those of you that are thinking, well, maybe he's not being honest about that piece of concrete evidence. Maybe he's making that up. Maybe he's lying to us. Number one, I've never lied to you guys before, and I never will. Number two, if you don't believe me, I'm leaving the link for the original video down below in the video description. You are more than welcome to go and check it out for yourself. It's down in the video description. I believe it's the second set of lines in the video description, if I remember correctly. Just use your translator, or if you can read Japanese fluently, go ahead and read it, or use a translator. And I'm telling you, it says video and audio were shot separately. All right, so feel free to go and look for yourself, and I promise you, you're going to see the exact same results that I did. So now let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow. We got 9.3, which is, again, if anybody's really going to complain about a 9.3, I don't know how to help you. So anyway, a 9.3, which is an outstanding, amazing, impressive scale rating, 5 out of 5 stars, and an A letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.